Froppy and Equestria. Written by crossover addict, unknown line. Deep in the woods of the Equestria forest, there was a human girl that somewhat resembles a frog. She has long dark green hair and big oval eyes. Her name is Tosuisui, and she has no idea where she is. However, she knows how she got here. Back in Tosui's home world, Japan to be more specific, she and her friend Rarika were tasked with helping the police in raiding a shady warehouse. It was all part of their internship under Ikyo, aka that drunken hero, Ryuki. The raid was successful and all of the suspects were apprehended. All except for one man who managed to avoid the cops by hiding inside a crate. While Tosuisui was camouflaged and sticking to the warehouse's ceiling to watch over her allies, she noticed a crate opening up from the inside. To her surprise, a scrawny and suspicious-looking man got out from the crate and slowly made his way to the warehouse's exit door. Tosuisui, while still camouflaged, followed the shady man until he got out of the warehouse. Before the man could start running away from the warehouse, a long strong tongue appeared out of seemingly nowhere and wrapped the man and then lifted him up into the air. "What the hell?" shouted the shady man. "I got you," Ribbon said Tosuisui triumphantly. "Let me go, you frog bitch," said the man as he laid all 5 of his fingers on Tosui's tongue. "I don't appreciate your language, mister. Now I will take you to the..." Before Tosuisui could finish her sentence, she suddenly found herself surrounded by trees and bushes instead of buildings. "Ribbit," was all what Tosuisui could utter in her state of confusion. Maybe that guy had some kind of interpretation quirk, thought Tosuisui to herself. But what did he leopard me to? As Tosuisui continued to ponder on her whereabouts, she heard the sounds of movements emitting from the bushes. She looked towards the bushes and saw dozens of green eyes. She then looked to her left and then to her right and then to every conceivable direction. She saw that she was surrounded by a large number of green glowing eyes. Once those eyes started to emerge from the bushes, Tosuisui saw that they belonged to what appears to be wolves made out of wood. Tosuisui didn't know what those wooden wolves are, but at least she could tell that they didn't seem friendly. The froggy girl immediately took a fighting stance and prepared herself for what's to come. Multiple wooden wolves tried to pounce at her, but she immediately jumped out of the way and whipped out her tongue and slammed it at 2 of her assailants, breaking them into many pieces in the process. Before Tosuisui could feel the satisfaction of her feat, she felt something sharp slash at her back. She screamed in pain and hopped forward to create a safe distance between herself and the one who attacked her from behind. "This is really bad," said Tosuisui as she panicked and as the beads of sweat started to appear on her forehead. Tosuisui is generally considered to be a good fighter by her classmates. However, she only fights well when she's on a team, and right now she is alone and surrounded by enemies. The wooden wolves surrounding Tosuisui started to tread closer and closer to the froggy heroine. Tosuisui, with determination in eyes, got into a fighting stance once again. I am not going to die here," said Tosuisui to herself with conviction. After an hour or so, the grassy land was littered with large quantities of broken twigs and logs. And amongst the broken pieces of wood stood Tosuisui. "She has defeated the wooden wolves, but this is really bad," uttered Tosuisui under her breath. There was a large claw mark on her back and left shoulder, and multiple bite marks on her left and right thighs, as well as on her left and right forearms. Her hero suit was also shredded, but only the parts that used to cover her back, left shoulder, thighs and forearms. "I need to get out of here and find help," said Tosuisui, realizing that her injuries need to be treated as soon as possible. Many hours have passed as Tosuisui walked through the woods of the Equestria forest. Eventually she felt tired and decided to take a moment to rest. But unfortunately for her, she noticed a large manticore nearby. "That monster looks pretty strong. Too strong for me to handle on my own, especially with my injuries. I better use my camouflage and avoid it," thought Tosuisui to herself. She used her camouflage ability and went past the manticore while maintaining a safe distance, but unfortunately for the froggy heroine, the manticore had a keen sense of smell. The beast managed to pick up Tosui's scent and it immediately lounged at her location. "Crap!" gasped Tosuisui as she instantly hopped out of the way. Tosuisui, despite her injuries, started to hop and hop as fast as she could, but the manticore was gaining on her. Her camouflage wore off in the process. As Tosuisui continued to hop away from her pursuer, she noticed a river in front of her. "Yes!" exclaimed Tosuisui, and without any hesitation she leapt into the river. However, before her body could be fully submerged in the water, the manticore managed to slash at Tosui's right calf. Tosuisui shrieked in pain, but the river managed to muffle her screams. Her blood began to taint the part of the river she dived into. After many more hours of limping, Tosuisui eventually reached what seemed to be the edge of the forest. "I finally made it," said Tosuisui. The froggy human then noticed that the sun was rising. "Looks like it took me all night just to get here, Ribbit," Tosui then started to rub her eyes. I feel pretty sleepy and tired. I hope I can find a safe place to sleep and hopefully heal my wounds. Ribbit. After Tosui had continued moving further onwards, she saw a town. Civilization, Tosui exclaimed happily. She started to limp faster and faster towards the town despite her injuries, but then she suddenly stopped. Wait a minute. What am I thinking? The inhabitants of the town could be hostile, thought Tosui. Tosui sat down on the grass and started to ponder. Ever since that man touched my tongue, I found myself in some forest surrounded by wooden wolves, and later on I encountered a Manticore. Am I even on planet Earth? It is possible that I am on Earth and that there is someone using their quirk to manipulate wood in order to attack me. As for that Manticore, it is not strange for animals to also possess a quirk, just like Principal Nezu. Tosui then got up and looked at the town warily. I am tired and my injuries must be treated as soon as possible. I have no choice but to head towards the town and hope that its inhabitants won't harm me, said Tosui as she limped towards the town. Once Tosui got a bit closer to the town's outskirts, she started to crawl on the ground while using her camouflage. I must not allow the townspeople to see me. Not until I'm sure that they're not hostile, Ribbit thought Tosui. After the froggy heroine crawled further towards the town, she saw something quite peculiar. Right in front of her eyes, she saw a pair of technicolored equines sitting on top of a mat next to them is a picnic basket. They were laughing and chatting with each other. Are the inhabitants of this town horses? Tosui asked herself while being absolutely flabbergasted and most importantly camouflaged. Looks like I may not be on Earth anymore, said Tosui to herself while feeling nothing but pure anxiousness. Tosui continued to observe the two equines. She could hear them talking, but she couldn't make out what they're saying because of the distance. Tosui decided to get just a bit closer to the two equines. Suddenly, the two equines looked in Tosui's direction and started to wave their hooves. Glad you could make it, said the first equine, who sounded feminine. We've been waiting for you, added the other equine, who also sounded feminine. For a very brief second, Tosui thought that the two equines were talking to her, but after she heard a masculine voice from behind say sorry for keeping you two waiting, she let out a sigh of relief. Wait a minute, from behind. Due to Tosui's injuries getting worse, she couldn't move out of the way in time to avoid the male equine who was trotting towards his friends. The horse then bumped into Tosui. Oof, what the hey? Exclaimed the male equine while Tosui let out a small shriek as she grabbed her right calf and as her camouflage lost its effect. Wah, what is that? Said the female equine as she pointed her hoof at Tosui. It's a monster, run, said the other female equine before she and her friend started galloping as fast as they could. Oh, screamed the male equine once he saw Tosui, and just like his two friends he also started galloping away to the direction they were running towards. Tosui slowly started to stand on her 2 feet, and once she stood up, she looked at the 3 equines as they galloped away towards the town. Oh, no, said Tosui with fear in her eyes. They saw me and they are definitely going to tell everyone in town about me. They will all be on the high alert. Tosui then sat down and started to ponder. I am really exhausted and I feel that my injuries are going to get worse if I don't treat them. Whether I like it or not, my only chance of survival lies in the hands or hooves of those horses. They seem to be easily frightened, which means that hopefully they may not be violent. Tosui then stood up. If I can show them that I pose no harm to them, then maybe they will help me. Tosui then camouflaged herself and slowly limped towards the town. Inside Sugarcube Corner sat the main 6, whom were also known as the bearers of the elements of harmony. They were chatting about their daily lives while enjoying some tasty pastries until some pony flung the door open and galloped towards the main 6. Princess Twilight, you have to do something," said a Blue's Earth pony mare as she grabbed Twilight Sparkle by her shoulders and proceeded to shake her. There was a monster in the outskirts of Ponyville. Twilight then softly laid her hoof on the mare's chest and gently pushed her back. "Wait, calm down. You said you saw a monster?" asked Twilight while raising a brow. "Yes," exclaimed the frightened mare. Twilight then placed her hoof on her chin and pondered for a bit. "What did the monster look like?" asked Twilight. "Well, it had a long blackish-green mane and its eyes were big. Oh, and it had frog-like feet and it wore some kind of a green outfit," answered the mare while trembling in fear. "Big eyes, long blackish-green hair and frog-like feet. I haven't read about any creature that looks like this." A very big smile started to appear on Twilight's face. "Could this monster be a new creature that no pony has discovered yet?" said Twilight, the Princess of Friendship, with glee. "I don't mean to dampen your enthusiasm, Tilly. But if there's a monster close to Ponyville, then I reckon we should stop it in its tracks before it harms some ponies," said Applejack with a serious look on her face. "I agree with AJ. We have to find that monster and kick his flank to Ponyville," said Rainbow Dash while hovering and delivering a kick towards the air. "Or throw it a party," said Pinkie Pie with a smile. Applejack and Rainbow Dash simply gave their pink friend an amused look. "Maybe it's just lost and needs help," said Fluttershy sympathetically. "Usually I don't look forward to seeing monsters," said Rarity before shuddering for a bit, "but after hearing that Mo say that the monster was wearing a green outfit, I can't help but feel tempted to take a look at it," added Rarity with a sly smile. Twilight placed her hoop on the trembling mare. "Don't worry, my friends and I will take care of this. In the meantime, you should go home and stay safe," said Twilight reassuringly. "Thank you, Princess," said the blush mare before trotting out of Sugarcube Corner. Twilight sparkled and looked at Rainbow Dash. "Rainbow Dash, I need you to fly over Ponyville and locate the monster. Once you find it, come back to us and tell me where it is so I can teleport us to its location. Our chances of success will be much higher if we all confront the monster together," said Twilight with a serious look on her face. "You got it," said Rainbow Dash before saluting Twilight, dashing out of Sugarcube Corner and flying upwards towards the cleared blue skies of Ponyville. Tootsie, while in her camouflage, was limping through the town streets. She saw a lot of equines trotting and conversing with each other. She also noticed that there are 3 types of these equines. The first type had a single horn on their heads and the second type had a pair of wings. The third type had neither horns nor wings. "They seem friendly enough," said Tootsie as she saw how happy and cheerful the equines seemed to be. "Well, it's time for the moment of truth." Tootsie then took a deep breath and retracted her camouflage. One by one, the ponies started to notice the weird-looking creature that suddenly appeared out of nowhere. They all stared at Tootsie with fear in their eyes. Before Tootsie could open her mouth to say something that would come down the store in equines, one of them pointed a hoof at her and shouted, "Monster!" All the equines in Tootsie's vicinity started to gallop away from her. Some of them ran into their houses and locked the doors, while others simply continued to run away until she lost sight of them. "This is really bad," Ribbon said Tootsie with a worried expression on her face. Not knowing what else to do, the froggy human continued to limp further down the streets of this town, hoping to find someone who can help her. "Come on, where is this monster?" said Rainbow Dash impatiently as she flew through the sky, surveying the town. After some time has passed, she noticed a good number of ponies below galloping away from something. She looked towards the area that they were running away from and she noticed something, a big bull creature. "That's the monster," said the disappointed Rainbow Dash. "It doesn't look tough. I bet I can kick his flank with 2 hooves tied behind my back, but Twilight told me to report back to her once I find the monster." "Well, I better not keep Egghead waiting," said Rainbow Dash before flying away at top speed towards Sugarcube Corner. "The streets are empty. I can't see anyone," said Tootsie as she continued to limp onwards while panting. "I feel like I'm going to pass out at any moment." Tootsie then stopped limping and looked at the cleared blue sky. "Mom, Dad, Samudera and Satsuki, sorry but it looks like I can't see you all again," Ribbon thought Tootsie as tears began to emerge from her eyes. Then suddenly and out of nowhere, a large flash of light appeared right in front of Tootsie. Once the mysterious light disappeared, in its place appeared 6 equines. Despite Tootsie being extremely tired and injured at this point, she still managed to show a flabbergasted look on her face. And from what she could tell, unlike all the other equines, these equines don't seem to be afraid of her. That is a good thing, right? As Tootsie looked at the 6 equines in front of her, she noticed that the purple one is the only one who has both a horn and a pair of wings. Is it the head honcho of this town? Tootsie then focused her attention on the equines' facial expressions. The purple one, the orange one and the white one all had a serious expression on their faces. The cyan one had a smirk on its face while the pink one had a white smile on her face. Tootsie shook her head for a bit and tried to focus on the last one, the yellow one. Out of all the 6 equines, the yellow one's expression was different. It was that of concern. "Is the yellow one concerned about me?" thought Tootsie to herself as she analyzed the yellow equine with wings. Before Tootsie could say something like asking for help or clarifying that she comes in peace, she starts to feel really woozy. "No, my injuries are starting to take its toll, and I haven't even slept," thought Tootsie as she struggled to stay conscious and keep standing. Despite the froggy girl's best efforts, her legs gave up on her and she fell face first on the ground. "Everything is going dark. There's nothing else I can do. I hope those horses will help me," thought Tootsie before she completely lost consciousness, and also before she felt something soft cradle her head. "Thanks for